Yo, what is good? Hi, TF Mob. It is your boy Booba back with another video. And as you all know, it is the Friday weekly overview. This week was definitely it was interesting. Honestly, it wasn't anything I didn't expect. It just all the events played out in a different fashion than I expected. So we'll start from the top down. As you can see, GU popped off, AU cell popped off like we were looking at. We had AJ, which also popped off some cells. I was more so looking for the buy going into the new months, and GJ also did the same. Honestly, I expect UJ to follow up, but there's no guarantees there. But I will be keeping an eye on this for the rest of the day. So started from AU. These were the sell setups that I was still looking at from the top of the week. I was just getting in at the wrong times. So like right here, I had an entry, placed my stop just shy above, or at least a little bit above this current candle. I expected price to drop all the way down off rip to wipe out my swing lows, but it didn't. It got near it and then reversed. And then once it reversed, it was not till around like, I want to say, hold on, let's drop to the hour so you can see more detail. Yeah, it wasn't until this candle here, this bearish engulfing move, that I looked to get back in the sells to the downside. So I just tucked all the profit back in because I didn't end up actually executing anything off this trade. And then it ended up bumping me out and then making it look like it wanted to buy, which then caused me to hesitate. And I actually didn't look to get back in for the rest of the day because off of these trades, I was getting stopped out at like lower than a percent because I had to start changing my sizes because my daily loss limit, and I'm going to show you guys this. Hold on. Jeez, this always happens. Hold on a second. It's going to be real brief, real brief. Oh, no. There you go. And there we go. So I want to show you guys this because this week was like, I think I lost another 3% or so, 3 or 2%, but I wasn't really phased by it because I knew that the reason I was even getting stopped out was that the charts just weren't ready. And funny enough, everything didn't pop off until last night at Asia, which guess what? It was the first of the month during that Asia session. So I should have got really active as soon as the first of the month came around, because again, we talked about how candles, they tend to break and start a new cycle for the new month. So this month started and immediately sold because already off the last month, it's been trying to sell. It's just that this whole candle, people are not going to dump more contracts into this volume already. We know for majority of the month that there was a large amount of sellers, and most of the sellers were taking their money out down here. So this is why we had so much fluctuation in this area up until the 1st of July, which when the new candle opened, everything continued to finish out the structure. So we may get more volume dumped into this month too for the cells down lower to the TP3 zones. And this is why I say we always look at the high frames and then we work from there and move down. But again, the patience is what is ultimately going to kill a lot of traders. So me this week, the patience was killing me. I was getting into some of the setups a little early because again, it's that FOMO, fear of missing out, but I should have just been persistent and just kept coming back at different times, despite getting stopped out. The only thing discouraging me and the reason why I was taking so long to log in was that this is now my current equity. So remember, I have a maximum overall drawdown of 12,000 with this account. This is the second part of my 100K and it's not due till the 15th. So the way I see the long game of trading is as long as I can push my test until I get close to the end date and do my very best, right? Like risk right, risk properly, I should be able to get enough money by then to even get another test, which means this test, whether it's going good or bad by this date, won't really matter to me because I'll start rolling over the next one. So this is why, like, when it comes to being patient, it's so important with trading because you're better off really just wait, like taking it day by day. If you really don't see anything, step away. You're better off saving your money to survive to the further to like better days pretty much, because there will be better days when it comes to trading. So this, I'm close to basically failing the second part. But I'm not really discouraged because this is not the first time I've been down on my test and still came back to pass. I have 16 days done today. Well, last night I did profit off one setup, which I will be showing you guys after GU here, but you'll just see GU was kind of the same deal. Like I got in here, expected it to just kind of go down, do what it did here. Didn't happen. Price, I closed out some profit, price reverse where I tried to continue to sell once I seen this bearish engulfing on the hour. It reversed through the wicks, and then it was around here that I was thinking to sell. I didn't press it, but again, this is why you need to be fluid as a trader. It doesn't matter if you get stopped out. All that matters is that you do the math right, because if you're not fluid, you miss moves like this, where it's like I could have got stopped out. My risk would have been fine. Okay, cool. I'm going to get back in regardless, just because I know I see the structure, I see the setup. So again, we had our swing high up here, our swing low here, and what did they do? They wiped it out. So now they're looking to break the swing low, and this should become our new flip zone to see now, to basically see if we're going to continue lower or not. So this week, I'm not going to really mess with anything because it is NFP Friday as well. This is another big reason why we wait for the next monthly candle during the ends of the month. And this was the move I caught. So AJ had the swing high here, swing low here. Price was reversing. Price looked like it was going to buy in this zone where it was breaking structure because you had this low bullish engulfing. Price came down, tested, but didn't break. And then it looked like it created another bullish engulfing. So I was ready to take the buy up. And the reason why I was seeing the buy at that time was because during that weekly candle, I was assuming this was going to come up and engulf to continue the monthly movement of that previous monthly candle. Turns out that was not the case, because just remember, these long wicks generally insinuate that they're going to reverse on the next candle. So that's what happened there on the next monthly. Price just failed. It broke down and broke to the low, which makes sense too, because a lot of people were probably anticipating those buys. So once I seen on the daily that price was throwing these three pins, these three wicks at the high coming from the previous low here, it was creating a lower high. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, let's drop to the 4 hour and I'm going to take a small move. And mind you, my account was at like 88,000, just shyly under that 89,000 mark. So I took this at like a 0.5% or like a 0.25%, so that I could recover some equity so that I can start using a 1% setup for next week. Because remember, every time I risk 1%, it's $1,000. So if I took 1% of a loss, I would basically be down 1,000 and I'd be at 88,610. But instead of me using just a whole percent, because my equity is low like this, I would rather use a 0.5%, because 0.5% means I'm risking $500 for $1,500 of return if I win that setup. So basically next week, I'll be looking for continuations into the monthly candle that just popped off for this month of July. And then we'll be looking to probably wipe out a lot of this liquidity here, because we've been accumulating money for so long. So it's probably in the distribution phase, and then or we'll be consolidating, one or the other. But I'll be using that next weekly candle to figure out where we're going, and the daily candles to get my entries, the 4 hours to find the structure, the 1 hour to find my precise entry. So this wasn't a bad week in my opinion. Like, it was just slow because I just knew we started at the end of June. So hold on, let's go back up. We start at the end of June, which is here. So like 27, 28, like these are usually dead days in the market. There ain't going to be much going on at the ends of your month. But we start off great. Everything started off and kind of got back on track. So GJ, oh man, I wish I would have took this alongside AJ, because that looked like it looked just good from where I was seeing it. Price was pulling back up here, creating this lower high movement. And then price was going towards the swing low anyway. So when it created this low high, in my mind, I was like, maybe it is the actual move to finish it off. Because at the time, all I'm seeing is this. So much move, so much space. Remember, we always try to complete the puzzle. So you can see, even with my experience, I make the mistake of hesitating on the structure. When you see the structure, though, it's there. What's there is there. So in a way, right, we had this huge harmonic situation going on. And remember, harmonic patterns are generally based off of banks collecting legs and respecting legs. So right here, you have a low. They came and wiped out this high, came back, collected about half the profit, went back, tried to collect these guys back up here, couldn't collect them all the way, and now price going to come back down for these guys here. And we'll see probably it get close and then probably bounce from a certain percentage. And these do revolve around specific numbers, but that's just a pattern that I saw there, like without having to really set that up. So yeah, this just looks like a big M pattern. And again, it lined up with the fact that the monthly was starting a new one and we just didn't know where that next one was going to go. So the next one wants to throw the wick down and probably collect more at these wicks, maybe less. We might bounce off this low and then continue. Because remember, the month is going to start with the fake move to set up the wick. By the end of the month, generally, they're going to finish on the actual side they want to go. So going down to UJ, I think this is going to be a sell setup for the morning. I might look to take this setup for today if it sets up and shows me the confirmation. Right now, it does look like it is going to drop because we have this bearish engulfing on the daily. We also, if I go down to the 4-hour, have price creating a downtrend. So we had this low here, price created this high, broke this previous high. Now it came back, wiped out this previous low, which tells us institutions are now involved. Price comes back to retest this high, can't break. Price breaks the low again. So now we know we're in a downtrend. Price is coming back up to retest the highs. So if I go back to the 1-hour, all I'm waiting for is for around 9 or 10 o'clock to see some rejection around this high or this high. And all I'll be doing is taking my sell downs to the swing low at minimum, right? And then even lower for some of the other setups. I'll probably put my stops like this and do something like that. Yeah. Okay. So keep in mind the stop loss, I'm only giving it this much room because it's still fluctuating. It's moving up. Once I see the confirmation, I'm going to adjust the setup. I'm going to get real focal and then squeeze everything. So now it becomes a 6-1, 5-1, or whatever. And with this trade setup, if I do see the actual confirmation, the reason why I'm not hesitant or scared about being this low on my account is because the way I even got this 610 in the first place was because every time I got into the entry of AJ, all I did was I moved my stop to break even. It doesn't matter, because here's the thing about trading. People have to understand, if there's going to be big money or smart money put into the markets, they do not come back. Once they leave, they don't come back. So a lot of times, like even here, they started leaving, they came back. That doesn't happen. If it's them getting involved, if it's institutions getting involved, banks getting involved, it will go just like this. It will just wipe out whatever they need to wipe out, and they'll do it very quickly. You'll see large impulsive candles. So every time price tends to break out and then come right back, that's not normal. It's not normal at all. So now you will know that based off that behavior, you know it's just not, the setup isn't ready. So if you always put your trades at break even and you're good about being patient on waiting for really good entries, you'll notice every time at least the price will go in your favor a little bit. And when it goes in your favor a little bit, you immediately break even the trade. So had I been doing this from the start, none of that would, like, my account wouldn't be this low. But it's because during the consolidation phases of the end of the month, I was getting overly involved with the charts. Again, getting thrown these fake moves, thinking this was the real move, thinking these are the real moves. But in reality, it was just consolidating, building up, and people were collecting their money. They're getting out the markets. Other people were simply just waiting for the next month. And now we see here, this is the behavior. So that's all it is. It's the same stuff, happens every month. And it's just a matter of getting accustomed and used to it and seeing it over and over to where it becomes ingrained. So like I said, UJ, I'm definitely looking for this setup, and I will take this one at about a 0.5% just to recover. Because again, I want to do it strategically, right? So I know if I do 0.50% and I risk that $500 gets nicked off of this, that gives me through 2 more setups to potentially recover that and some. So that's just the logic of trading. That's just how you want to always keep your mindset and apply the patience, and everything will play and work itself out. At that point, you just have to trust the knowledge, because that's the hardest part when you see that, oh, markets aren't moving, or you constantly keep getting bumped out, or, you know, one week's amazing, the next week isn't. Doesn't matter. Just try to survive to the better days, try to survive to the better market weeks, and that's all that matters. So do your math right. But I wanted to keep this video nice and short. And I figured since I'm right here, I might as well get it done because I was just looking at setups for the new month anyway. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys have any questions, please leave those questions in the comments. Leave any feedback in the comments. I will always be willing to improve the channel based upon what's lacking. So definitely feel free to let me know about that. And as far as the Sunday analysis or Sunday weekly analysis, that'll be coming up on that day of. I know I was a little bit later of this past week, but you know, if it doesn't go up Sunday, it's going up the day after. So I hope you guys do appreciate it again, and peace out, y'all.